Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I haven't done this for a very long time. A proper intro. I think I've actually forgot how to do it. Today, I thought I'd do a video basically talking about how to look after your mental health during this period of like weirdness. This whole period of isolation. We're not going to be using that scary Miss whatever her name is because she isn't very nice. So basically, yeah, I thought I'd do another video like this because I've done one for how to look after your mental health whilst at uni for university when I was there. And then I also did one for how to look after your mental health during exam time. So I thought this would be a really good opportunity to pass on some advice that I've gained and like cobbled together and learned over the years. This disease time is very important that we look after ourselves physically, obviously, but mentally as well, because there's not really much emphasis on the mental effect that this is gonna have. So the time I'm filming this now, I only came back from Southeast Asia a week ago, over a week ago. Yeah, a week ago and a day. I had to cut my trip short early, so you'll see this in current time. However, I've got a backlog of videos which will come after this. So then you'll see past Rush out in the coming weeks and months. And I've been in self-isolation purely I've been fine. I just wanted to do it for the sake of myself and the sake of others. And let me tell you this, my biggest fear was self-isolation, staying at home, being stuck at home, purely because in first year when I struggled with depression, I kind of self-isolated for like 4 months. And thinking about doing it now kind of just sent me back to that, and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be hell. But I'm a different person, I've got different ways of coping, and I've learned from that. So, number one would be to turn off. And by that, I mean turning off the news, turning off social media, turning off any unnecessary outlets that cause you unnecessary stress. For example, for me, because I suffer from anxiety, the whole situation with this is making me really on edge because I don't know when it's going to end, and I'm just kind of worrying about how long this is going to last, how long we're going to be stuck inside for, and constantly being fed new information again and again, and different sources of information say different things, and it's not always correct, sends you into kind of like a panic. The one thing I've learned, especially since coming back to England, is to turn off. And don't get me wrong, I do watch the news at 5, whatever time it is, when Boris Johnson does the whole news thing. However, I have, for example, muted the words on Twitter, so I can't see any of that kind of stuff, which has been really good for me because I can distance myself. I'm fully aware of everything that's going on, but I only let in a small amount of information that I can actually deal with because it's very anxiety inducing and it just sends me into a bit of a panic. That's one of the ways I've been dealing with that. Number two would be to talk, and this is the biggest thing for any mental health well-being, full stop. Like, everyone always talks about it and you don't know how much it can do for you. However, coming from an Indian background, like an Indian family, it's almost, I think it is impossible to actually talk about your mental health without being judged for it. I struggle to talk about it with my mum because she's always like, think positive, and I think a lot of the people are not so educated in that sense that they don't really know how to offer advice. But I think especially Indian families have that sense of think positive, be positive, and it'll be fine, and most of the time probably not the ideal way around it. Well, it's not the ideal way. Like, yeah, I wish I could think positive. Like when my mum tells me to think positive, I'm like, oh yeah, I might just start doing that, you know? But it's hard. So I think for me personally, and I think maybe for other people as well, I think talking to my friends is number one. I would rather talk to my friends than any of my family because it always tends to be that lack of understanding, I think. Lack of understanding and lack of knowledge about the subject and about the topic area and about like the whole mental health struggle and stuff. They don't really know how to approach it, don't really understand it, so they don't know what to say. I just kind of avoid that whole scenario and I go straight to my friends. So, in times of this, when you're upset, when you're stressed, when you're anxious, when you're worrying, I think the best thing to do is to talk to friends. That's what I would do. When I'm struggling, or when I'm stressed, or when I'm anxious, I tend to ask my friends for advice, or like talk to my friends to like kind of make myself feel better. Because a lot of the time, obviously, my friends are the same age as me, so it's, or if they're older, everyone in my generation tends to have a better understanding of mental health. And obviously talking to someone else who has that understanding, that backlog, can kind of give better advice and make me feel better. For example, me and Nikki were ringing each other the other day and we were just panicking about the whole like lockdown situation, like when everything was shutting down, and it kind of just made me realize that this is really serious, and I just sent me into a bit of a panic. I was like, wow, how long can this last? So I was like, Nikki, I need help. Like, I'm stressing and panicking. A good thing for both of us, I think, was the fact that she was also worried. So me and her were both worried, so we kind of just like rang and just kind of like threw all our stresses in the air. Honestly, it made me feel a lot better because I genuinely felt, it genuinely made me realize that I wasn't on my own in this. I was like, Rochelle, remember, everyone is going to feel like this. And I'm like, okay, that makes me feel a lot better because I don't feel on my own. So I think talking to friends really does me wonders. Talking in general is such an important thing to do, and I think in times like this, if you don't get these worries and things like that out, I think it can be really horrible for yourself, and it can be really hard. The whole situation isn't a minuscule thing that will last like a week. It's daunting and it's scary, and I think being able to open up and be honest with other people and talk about your worries, you being scared, is a really good way of dealing with it because you're confronting it head on. Number 3, set a schedule. Obviously, I had a week of self-isolation. I've got another one where I have to stay inside because I came back from like Thailand and stuff. Resuming daily life without the live part of it, because everything's been thrown up in the air. So much uncertainty that it can throw you off, and it threw me off for a week. But I've started to realise that I need to keep to a schedule. So what I'm going to do from today onwards is set a plan out. So set a daily plan out. So like, wake up at this time, go to bed at this time, and then spend an hour editing videos, 2 hours editing videos, having lunch, doing reading for an hour, 2 hours, exercise for an hour. So in general, in my schedules, I've got YouTube for 2 hours. What that 2 hours of YouTube consists of can be editing, planning, filming, researching, or setting out slots for videos to go out. Yeah, so in general, at the end of each day, I will then make a to-do list for the next day where I'll slot in specific activities into my general schedule for the next day, and I feel like that's going to give me a bit more structure to my life and keep me productive. And I want to implement more like healthy activities that I've wanted to do for ages, so I'm going to slot those into like eating lunch at a normal time and like eating lunch that is healthy, not just something out the freezer. So yeah, resuming a normal schedule despite the normal not being there. Number 4 is to exercise and get some fresh air. I'm very lucky to live in the countryside. Lucky is a strong word. Lucky in the sense that there's literally fields around me. I can just go on a walk or a run and be away from everybody. There'll be no one there. And I think it's super important. I've never like PE or anything at school. I've never been sporty, but I have grown up and I've taken more interest in the gym. Just going out, getting some fresh air, doing some exercise, it's really good for your mental health. My point being, I hate exercise and I would happily do it for it to result in me feeling better. Number 5, my hand is so big, what the hell? No, it's not. 5 would be to keep busy. Obviously, a lot of people aren't going to be in work. You're going to have a lot of time at home. Just keeping occupied and doing stuff you want to do, because distraction and keeping busy is the best personal experience, the best way to look after yourself, because more time doing other stuff, less time for you to get stuck in your head. And I cannot emphasize that enough, because that is one of the most horrible things you can do. Yeah, keeping yourself occupied, learning something new, doing something new that you wanted to do. Maybe clear out that cupboard that you've been meaning to do. You've got the time to do it now. But yeah, that is everything I wanted to say for this video. I just want to take this time to thank key workers and NHS workers for everything you've been doing and everything you are going to be doing and you are doing. Can't thank you enough. Anyone is watching and works in the NHS, there is much love from me, and I know lots of other people. The job you do is amazing, and hats off to you, because it's a lot of work and you aren't appreciated enough. In general, I want to wrap this up. If you've liked this video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. I hope these tips have been helpful. My Instagram is down below, and I shall see you guys in another video probably after this, before the whole bulk videos section of my travels come out. Till then, take care, and I shall see you very soon. Bye.